Hey y'all. Hello, dolls. Welcome to another live stream. So today is different. If you're here catching the replay, maybe it's your first time coming across me. Usually on Tuesdays, I do uploads, but your girl did not tape a video, okay? Because this weekend I was ripping and running, going here, going there, at so many different events, even had a date, okay? So I had a lot going on. But needless to say, I'm here now. So sorry for the delay. Today was busy too. My son had his speech therapy appointment, had to take my mom to the doctor. It's storming outside. I mean, it's just a lot going on. But today we are going to talk about female friendships. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I really want to focus in on the nuances of female friendships and, how they tend to feel and just things that maybe I don't know about you guys, but I know me and my friends have talked about behind the scenes of just like sometimes it's just hard to maintain friendships amongst women. Sometimes those friendships that you maybe started off having that were great, they hit a fork in the road. And I know everybody has their friendship problems, but generally speaking, I feel like women, we face different obstacles when it comes to friendships because we just have different things going on in our lives. And I mean, we're not exactly identical to men. So, we're going to have different things. But I'm going to wait until about the 5 or 6 minute mark to jump into the topic. So I want to give you guys time to just settle in, invite a friend or two for YouTube to send out the notifications. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. I'm about to just let people know they could join me live now on YouTube because sometimes the notifications take a while. So let me pull this up real quick and then we'll dive in. Also, since we're here, I'll go ahead and say the announcements. Obviously, make sure you check the description box for all the goodies. You could join the newsletter, which goes out on the 1st and 15th of every month. That's when I let you guys know what I'm working on, special offers and opportunities you can take part in, just life hacks, tips, things like that, where I basically talk to you in a more intimate way. Also, YouTube memberships are live. So you can do general support on YouTube, and then you can go to Patreon if you want to get more perks and more bang for your buck when it comes to memberships. I am going to start uploading videos onto Patreon and putting it up on my, community tab so you can see kind of like the type of content. You'll get all sorts of content on Patreon. So don't think that just what's in the description is that's all it's going to be. It'll be all types of stuff. So for instance, the first thing I'm going to do is a movie review of the new Batman movie and the parallels of life and how basically a lot of what they showed as far as like the lack of trust of political leaders and how we're kind of facing that kind of stuff today. So I'm going to really be diving into different types of content that just will not make sense to put on my YouTube. And different tiers come with different things. And the highest tier, I am working on the designs for the merch, but you will get merch every 3 months as part of the loyalty program at the highest tier. And you will also get, master classes and live streams with industry experts on different things for business. You'll get a private community where we can chat and all of that. So check out the Patreon. I'm gonna put it in the comments and across the screen, and you can go ahead and check that out. All of the support is greatly appreciated, and of course, like I said, you can always join YouTube memberships as well for general support. So anything you decide to do, I greatly appreciate. Let me go ahead and send this out so people can jump in here. And I hope y'all are having a good day. It's been really rainy and cold and stuff here, like I said. So it's just been a lot. All right. All right. So I'm just going to wait 30 more seconds or so. Then we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Also, Thursday, make sure you guys are here. Thursday, March 10th, Edie Marie High of Eats with Edie or Edie Marie on YouTube is going to be here. We're going to be talking about, going viral. Like, what is that really like? What does it really feel like? The realities of it. I feel like a lot of people kind of fantasize about it. So we have some good interviews coming up this month for Women's History Month. So make sure that you're locked in. You hit the subscribe button, you hit share, you hit like, you do all the things. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to talk about the reality, or let me say the good, bad, and ugly of female friendships, because like I said, me and my friends have had these conversations behind the scenes where it's like, sisterhood is a popular topic. We all talk about sisterhood. We talk about the importance of sisterhood. We talk about the perks of sisterhood, why it matters, why it's good. And, I'm not bashing it. Sisterhood is great. I think you really do need female friends. Like, you can't, I don't believe that you can literally just hang with men as a woman and be straight. Like, I feel like there are certain things that, and when I say be straight, I mean like be okay. That's slang, because I don't want anyone to get it misconstrued. My hair is falling and all that. But I don't think that you can just have male friendships and like every need will necessarily be met. I feel like there's just certain things that women friendships provide for you that men don't necessarily provide, especially if you're anything like me. And the men in your life, typically if they're not family friends, and I have an older brother who's significantly older than me. He's almost 15 years older than me. So his friends see me as a little sister, but those are family friends. Those are like my older brothers, but if they're not one of those like family friends or like my older brothers or whatever, most times they're trying to holler at me, and they might say, oh, we're just going to be friends and this and that, but the interest is there whether they have expressed it or not. And maybe we tried to make it grow into something more and it didn't. So we're like, yeah, we're gonna be friends, but it's not really a friend. Like, I can't go to that person, that man, and be like, oh, I'm dealing with this, da da da. Like, there's certain things you're just not gonna share, in my opinion, with a man. And so I definitely feel like women have a place in other women's lives to pour into them, and that sisterhood is needed. But as often as we talk about sisterhood, and as often as we talk about female friendships, we rarely touch on the negative sides or the toxic sides or just the nuances. And I get it, like, we want to, let me lower this chair a little bit. There we go. I get it. We want to keep things, positive, and we don't want to come across like we're publicly bashing female friendships and things like that. I get it. Or bashing other women. I definitely get it. But at the same time, I am definitely someone who believes in talking about all sides of things. I don't like to just push one side or one narrative. Hence why my channel is the way it is, with the type of content that I produce, and showing like, hey, like, yeah, let's talk about that elephant in the room. Let's talk about that taboo topic, or let's, dig deeper into this beyond the surface. And so when I personally think of female friendships and just how women, females, I know some people get offended by the word female. So no offense. If you're one of those people, it's just, I'm going to be using them interchangeably for the sake of conversation, just so I could ebb and flow. But no harm, no offense, meant or anything like that. But when I think of female friendships, even back to my school days, when, maybe the beginning of the school year will start, and that's important. It absolutely is important, Benedicta. Like, female friendships are so important. That sisterhood is everything. Like, it's gotten me through some of my darkest moments, which I do have some stories as I'm going through the points and talking points and whatnot. But when I even think back to school, like at the beginning of the school year, when we get new students, and sometimes it will be a boy and a girl, or, a couple of boys, a couple of girls, whatever. It's like the boys had no problem fitting in socially. Like, literally, by the time lunch came around, they were already, dapping up other men in the school, other boys in the school. They were already like planning what they were going to do that weekend. Hey, Kim, how's it going, sis? And by the end of the week, they were one of the most popular boys in school. But with the women, it's like she had to jump through so many hoops. She had to like prove herself and be vetted by all the different people groups in the school, between the popular girls and the nerdy girls and, the quirky girls or whatever. And it was like, she was either, the only time she was instantly embraced is if she fit what was deemed as admirable or desirable amongst that people group. So if they really thought like, oh, well, she's really pretty based on how we think, based on our standards in this school or whatever, then she would become friends. Not all the time, but a lot of times she would become friends with, say, like the popular girls faster. And she would be elevated to the height of like the female hierarchy within the school, and who's desirable and who's not, and et cetera, versus like maybe if she's a little bit more quirky, a little bit more introverted, it will take a while. It will take a while for her to find her place. And so even in school, we see where a lot of times it's easier for men boys, I would say, because they're definitely not men at that point, but boys to fit in and make friendships. Now, the depth of those friendships and how long they last and all that, that's a different conversation. But the point is, they make them easier more often than not than the females. And the females have to go through all these hoops and prove themselves. And there's the backbiting and, not all the time. Again, I'm painting with a broad paintbrush, but I'm just saying this is the general consensus that me and my friends and people that I know, when we get into these conversations, we're like, yeah, you know what, that is true. Like, even my nephews, I've talked about this with my nephews, where they're like, yeah, like it's the same thing in our school. And we're two different generations, where they're like, yeah, like the boys, we're playing basketball together by the end of the school day. Like, we cool, we best buds, whatever. And the girls, it's like a whole bunch of extra stuff. Like, you got to prove yourself, And so I've noticed these type of dynamics transcend into not so much college, but then again, I didn't live on campus, so I missed out on some of the college experience. Maybe if you lived on campus, you might have a different recollection, but the college I went to was largely a commuter school, so a lot of us were just there to get the classes over with and then to go to work, go home, do what we got to do. So my college experience was a little different than the average, but even still, I would say I could see where it was the same from grade school and stuff, but it still was different. So but in other organizational structures, whether that's work, school, like trade school, I mean, or like church or whatever, I see where that is the case, where it's like it's not always super easy for a woman to come in and just boom, she got friends. It really like takes a minute. Like, someone that's already vetted and seasoned there has to be like, okay, yeah, like she's cool, y'all. We could talk to her. Like, she could come and join us at the table or whatever. And so those are just things that I noticed. And so when I started thinking to myself, I was like, yo, that's so crazy. Like, just thinking about these dynamics and stuff. I'm like, that's so crazy. And like I said, some of my other friends have said the same thing. I thought, why is this? Like, why is it so tough for women to forge genuine relationships sometimes and genuine friendships that last? Because if we're hollering about sisterhood and women empowering women and sisterhood over competition and all that, but yet a lot of us are still complaining about genuine, deep, hearty, transparent friendships, then where's the disconnect? And I'm not talking about those who are like, yeah, like I don't have that problem. If you don't have that problem, then power to you. I celebrate with you that you got those deep friendships, but a lot of women I've talked to in my 33 years of life, almost 34 years of life, have struggled with keeping deep friendships. Now, when it's surface level, when we just want to kiki, we want to get together, we want to have a good time, sure. But when it boils down to like actually being there, like, it just gets smaller. And research actually shows this. One of my points dives deeper into it, just a little deeper. I didn't get too deep. But I can give you the website if I don't say it, if you want to dive deeper into the research that I say. At times, from experience, I had to learn some women don't believe in that need for sisterhood, which causes a fork in the road recently. Yes, that is so true. And I think one of my talking points touches on that briefly. So while I, said I noticed that it was just harder for women in these groups or organizations or communities to forge deep, lasting friendships, or just a friendship period, even if it's frivolous. And I started thinking about it. It drove me to kind of look into the sociology of female friendships, if you will. Like, okay, what's the underlying issue? So if women are consistently saying, yo, like it is hard to find good female friends that you can lean on, that you could like say, yes, like this is my sister for real, then why is that? Like, what does the research say? What does it say? What do the numbers say? You guys know me and my numbers. So one of the, and I apologize in advance if you hear my son, because he is amped. Okay, like he had ice cream and we bought him pizza for dinner, so yeah, he's amped. But needless to say, so my first talking point is that female friend, and I'm kind of going to flow, so I might not say like this is the first, second, third. I'm just going to kind of talk. But the first talking point is that female friendships can be complicated because women are more prone to shy away from conflict and confrontation. So according to Deborah Tannen, who is the author of the book You're the Only One I Can Tell, Inside the Language of Women's Friendships. That's literally the whole title. You're the Only One I Can Tell, Inside the Language of Women's Friendships. She's the author of that book. If emotions are not managed correctly, the fear of conflict will suddenly, or can manifest itself into female friends suddenly like ghosting you, switching their behavior up, like all of a sudden with no explanation. Like you ever just had a friend, and I've dealt with this, y'all, literally. Hello, Rondelle the second. And everyone in the chat, hey Layla, nice to see you here, sis. But so if you ever had a friend that like y'all were just cool, like y'all did everything together. And Deborah shared a story about this in her article. It was on, I want to say it was something I started with an A. I can give you the website if y'all want it, because I see the logo in my head. I'm forgetting the exact name of the website. I want to say it's the Atlas, but or the Atlantis or something. Don't quote me, but I can give it to you. But needless to say, Deborah talked about how one of her like good friends from grade school and her just fell out suddenly. Like, they did everything together. They used to go to the library together, eat lunch together, do all these things, until one day she literally just like cut her off. Like, she just, no explanation, just goes like, I'm good. And she was just like, dang, like what's going on? Especially when you're in those grade school levels, like I said, like middle school, high school, elementary school, like it really takes a toll on you, because you're still finding yourself, you're still discovering yourself. You don't really know, like, who you are, and friendships hold so much more weight emotionally, and like the emotional scarring I feel in those years, because as you get older, friendships still hold a lot of weight depending on the type of person I feel you are. Because some people could cut folks off left, right, and center, and it's no problem. Other people, it's like, they struggle getting close. And other people are like, I'm just not doing the friendship thing anymore because of past scars and experiences. But either way, it really can leave you questioning, like, what did I do? And so because women, more often than not, again, painted with the broad paintbrush here, tend to want to avoid conflict and confrontation based on the research, that's when that ghosting comes into play, or they don't want to have that sit down, like, difficult conversation. They don't really want to give the friend a chance to explain themselves because it's uncomfortable. Like, nobody wants to sit and be like, yeah, like, this is how I feel, this, at the third. I was talking to one of my good friends. She's also a YouTuber, Ebony LeMay. And we talk on the phone fairly often. I've been slacking on conversation recently, and that's another one of my talking points is effort. But also understanding. But we're gonna get there. And so I was telling her how, needless to say, it's one of those things where you can struggle with conflict if you allow yourself to make it a bigger weight on you than it needs to be. Because one of my old best friends, I remember telling her when she was married, because this is when her marriage was still kind of fresh. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous of your marriage. Like, I'm kind of jealous of your life. That's not a conversation that a lot of people would just sit and say, like, I'm jealous of you, like I feel some type of way. A lot of people would not say that. They'll skirt around the issue, they'll smile in your face, they'll make it seem like it's all good, but deep down inside, that jealousy is growing by the day. And by me being open and honest about that at that moment in time, we were able to have a serious heart to heart. And she shared things with me that she struggled with, either as a woman or in her marriage or whatever. But that vulnerability and that deep, raw, real transparency broke down a barrier that could have ended up being me ghosting her, or me like starting to act funny because it's like, I'm jealous, so I'm gonna just act weird, or I'm gonna fall back. I might not even say I'm gonna act weird. It's just like, I'm gonna fall back, but it looks weird. Like, to the other friend, it's like, what is going on with you? Like, we used to be so tight, And so the sudden change of behavior and all those kind of things, it really is rooted in a fear of confrontation and a fear of conflict. And conflict and arguments and stuff are not bad. Like, honestly, arguments and conflict help relationships get deeper. They either help them get deeper, or you realize that person never really rocked with you in the first place. So, hey, why not just find it out sooner rather than later and move on? It's like, and I get it. Like, I'm not one of those people that is confrontation. No, I'm not like, yes, conflict, arguments, fighting. I don't get off on that kind of stuff, but I don't shy away from it either. I'm like, let's face it head on. Like, if you want to go, we can go. Like, let's get to the bottom of it so that we can move on. Like, I'll pull up and be like, hey, I noticed you're acting funny. I've done it before. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about as far as recent events, like more recent events. I pulled up, like, sent a text message, phone call, slid in the DMs. Like, I feel like you're acting weird. What's going on? Like, this is how I'm feeling. And to be honest, a lot of people, even in those situations, more often than not, even with me being like, hey, this is how I feel, or this is how I'm taking it, or, maybe I'm the one acting funny and this is why I'm acting funny. In those situations, it still doesn't go well, because it's like, even with one person being vulnerable and saying like, this is how I feel, this is how I'm taking it, it's like the other person is still running from the confrontation. And it's like, how much more transparent can I be? Like, I'm not, like, and I'm not pulling up cussing and acting all out of character and whatnot. I'm just asking, like, I'm telling you, I'm asking, like, is there something that I did? Like, is there something that's going on? This is how it's looking to me. And even then, the honesty still can't be reciprocated. And so it's like, until we get to a point where you're okay just being like, yeah, this is what it is. With tact, I always say, if y'all know me, I always say with tact and respect, like, don't go out here acting crazy and talking out the side of your neck to people, because then you got to be ready for the smoke. Okay. So don't let your mouth write a check that your behind can't cash. Like, let's not do that, but definitely be honest, definitely be tactful and truthful. And like, yeah, like, this is what I feel. This is how it's coming across to me, because sometimes people are doing stuff and they don't even realize how it's coming across. Like, to them, it's like, oh, I'm just falling back. But to you, it's like, wow, they're acting fake. They're acting that, because we're all different. We all, view the world from our own like confirmation biases or our own experiences or whatever. So, we're going to view the world based on how we were raised, based on prior experiences that we've had, based on our beliefs, based on, our morals, whatever. And sometimes people, it's really not that deep for them, but for you, it's like that deep and then some. And so, like I said, even recently, I've literally slid into DMs and be like, this is what this looks like to me. This is what I'm taking it as, like, is there anything wrong or whatever. And that person was just like, nah, like, I'm good. It's no problem, this or that. But then they still kept acting funny. So I'm just like, I don't know. At that point, it's like, you got to cut it off. Like, to me, I feel like at that point, you got to cut it off. It's just not worth it. I'm great at cutting off people no matter the length of time we've known each other. I find it that most people don't genuinely want transparency and honesty. Okay, that's a word right there, sis. Like, I've let go. I remember when I cut off one of my best friends of 14 years. We were best friends for 14 years at this time. At this point in time, we would have been best friends for about 20 years had we not, yeah, we would have been best friends for about 20 years had I not cut him off. Because I was like, now he was just out of pocket, like flat out, he was out of pocket. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm good. Like, there's no need for us to even continue on with this. Because one thing about me is, like, once you show, I'm a pretty nonchalant person. I'm pretty empathetic, understanding. I could see things from your shoes, from your point of view. But there are a couple things I don't play with: loyalty, respect, honesty. Like, once those three things are crossed, I'm gone. I don't care if we came out the womb together and we were in the same nursery, crib to crib. I don't care. Like, I got to go, because it's like, I can't have you sitting at my table and you not even loyal. Like, you drilling holes in my ship, or you're not even honest. Like, I'm doing the hardest part. I'm coming to you like, hey, what's up? And all you have to do is reciprocate. And anybody that knows me knows I'm not the type to fly off the handle. Because one thing I'm not going to do is lose hair and get my blood pressure high over any argument that could be avoided. So I'm not going to start yelling and all that. Like, just be honest. But it's like, even still, you can't. So you're absolutely right about that. Like, they don't want the transparency and honesty. People say it all day. They say it all day. Yeah, be honest with me. Da da da. And then when they get it, it's like, whoa, okay, this is not what I had in mind. Those same people are fine dishing it, but can't take it. Right. Cannot take it. Like, cannot take it at all. Honesty goes a very long way. The transparency can't be one-sided. It really can't. I can't be out here pouring my heart out, telling you everything on my mind, every nook and cranny, and you're just like, nah, we good. But your actions are saying otherwise. How are you going to say we're good and your actions are showing otherwise? Like, and then some of them gaslight. I have been gaslighted, whatever, before, and that was not cool. Because then at that point, I'm not going to lie, I might just cuss you out. Like, I'm sorry. I might just cuss you out, because you're not about to make me feel crazy for what you're doing. And then, when you express your feelings, some people be acting like you asking for too much, like, communication and stuff like that, especially in relationships, like romantic relationships. But I'm gonna have to do another live stream on that one, because I got tea on that, like hot, fresh out the kettle tea on communicating in relationships. But that's gonna have to be another live stream, or I'll do it on the Patreon or something like that. But also, according to Tannen, she said that women place a lot of value on the intricate details of knowing the intricate details of their friends, and not only just their friends, but their loved ones' lives. So that, it makes sense when you think about it. Women, we tend to be very nurturing. We tend to want to, like, be there for our people. We want to lean on them and stuff like that. We want them to lean on us, and we want it to be like a mutual understanding and things like that. But we place a lot of emphasis on it, because it's like, we're just as competitive as men when it comes to friendships. Because a lot of people like to think women aren't as competitive as men when it comes to friendships. Men might be more competitive when it comes to the physical and materialistic stuff, but women are just as competitive. The research shows it's just, we're competitive for the emotional intimacy, the emotional connection. So we want to be the one who is the most privy to the intimate details of one's life. and that person who's the most privy to it holds the prized possession. So another example is when I had another best friend. Y'all done cut off so many best friends over here. Like, you gonna hear me say my ex-best friend a lot. I literally got one standing from school days. The rest of them, they all bit the dust at some point or another. But it was a long time coming. Honestly, I had a lot of toxic friendships in my life. I didn't realize how toxic it was, or just not healthy, maybe not the most toxic, but definitely not fruitful and edifying, until I kind of took a step back or things happened. And I was like, wow, like, I can't believe these people were in my house eating at my table, like, around my family and stuff. It's crazy how you just kind of let people in. But needless to say, I had that best friend, and it was always kind of this thing. It was a running joke between us, but there was definitely some seriousness attached to it, where it was like, if any one of us had a new best friend or a new close friend, or just someone we were hanging with a little too much, the other friend will be like, yeah, but she ain't gonna take my place. I've been here. Like, I've been here, even with boyfriends, to be honest, but more so with the other female friends, where it's like, I've been here, she ain't gonna take my place. This, other, third. Like, it was a joke, but there is some seriousness to it based on the research, and also just, just how women can be sometimes, where it's like, you want to be the one to say, like, I'm her closest friend. I'm the one that knows the most about her. I'm the one that's been there to wipe the tears, to do this, to do that, and that's what we really place a lot of our weight on, in a competitive sense. So when a new woman comes into the scene and she getting a little too close to your friend, then it's like, it could be competitive. And that's where that, like, toxic competitiveness and whatnot comes into play with women sometimes. And that pettiness, where it's like, oh, she said this, she said that, this, that, the third, and it would just be like, who is she? Because y'all getting cozy, you leaning on her. And especially if lifestyle has changed around it. So maybe, like, that friend got married, and we all know sometimes how women can act when they get a man. Okay. Like, they can be like, friend who? Like, I ain't got no friends, it's all about their man. And so that friend got married, you being the single friend, or maybe you're in a relationship, but y'all just are not, like, up under each other all the time. So you are like, well, I still have time. I still have, things I want to do. I still want to go out, live my life, whatever. And this other friend you meet, maybe at work, maybe you're part of some networking group, church, whatever, and y'all hit it off. Like, when you just meet someone, it's like y'all just click, like, man, I feel like I've known you forever. So y'all like, yeah, let's go get coffee. Let's go do this. You want to come to the expo with me? Da, da, da. And you're making all these plans, and you're going out and you're having a good time. And it's like, man, this is refreshing. Like, she's got time for me. I got time for her. Doesn't feel forced. Doesn't feel fake. It's like we respect each other's space, but we still, like, want to hang with each other, and we both are putting in effort. And then the other friend that got married and didn't have the time or whatever, now is starting to feel some type of way. And it's like, well, life circumstances change for you. I get it. Your priorities change, whatever. But you also didn't really leave that room for your friends to be in your life. It's a two-way street. But I am going to talk about that in more detail in a second. Let me see what y'all are talking about. I cut off a friend I've known since grade 3 when I was 26 years old. Wow. She got real slick with her mouth, and I checked her. I cut her off, and she cyberbullied me. What? For 2 years? And wished I would unalive myself? What? Are you serious? That is toxicity at its finest. Like, I'm glad you cut her off, because that is some deep-rooted jealousy and hate right there. That was definitely showing itself. Hey, Sabrina, I haven't seen you in a minute, sis. How are you? I hope you're doing good. It's really sad that women can't maintain relationships like men can. We always change friends starting from high school. Right. You're blessed you could keep one from adolescence. Okay. I literally have one standing from adolescence. The rest have dropped like flies. I'm just like, yo, what is going on? Behind every joke lies the truth. Right. Okay. Facts. That is all the way facts right there. All the way facts. I'm friend territorial. I can admit that I hold my friends close. Yes. And I can be like that too. I'm trying to think if I'm like that now, because to be honest, like, I really don't have a lot of close friends. I have a lot of counsel, if that makes sense. So I have a lot of people that I could reach out to for prayer. I have a lot of people I could reach out to for advice, when I need a shoulder to cry on, things like that. But all encompassing friends, like that friend from high school, or those friends that I cut off, I literally just have like the one from high school, and I have one in the making. So we could say 2. I have one in the making that I've known for almost 3 years, and I have the one from high school that I've known for 20 years. But other than that, like, most of my friendships are almost like business, like networking, transactional in a way. And see, research would say, like, my friendship circle right now, mimics more of what men's friendship circles tend to be. So men tend to have more transactional friendships. Not that they don't have best friends and stuff, but generally speaking, in this research article that I found on sidepost.org, they were talking about that. They were like 98% of women, even if they were in relationships, have a best friend, like someone that fills that best friend category. And then their significant other is like their significant other. Whereas men, they didn't really differentiate between like, oh, this is my woman and that's my best friend. You know, like it was just kind of like, these are all my friends. Like there's not a ranking, if that makes sense. Like women will fast be like, okay, this is my best friend. This is my church friend. This is my work friend. It's like, you know, we have our boxes. Whereas men are like, these are just my friends. And a lot of times the friendships for men be started in a transactional way. So whether that was like, hey, can you give me a ride? Or, hey, like I need help with this or that. Or maybe y'all met in a way where you kind of were, I don't want to say forced, but where you were in close proximity and you didn't really have a choice. So maybe from work, you know, or at a basketball game, you went with a friend to a basketball game and he brought other friends and y'all all click. You know, like men, they tend to just have those organic relationships happen. Whereas women, it's like, we generally connect through emotion. Like we really connect through emotion, a life experience, something like that. And then it becomes, you know, like a deeper friendship. So let me see. How do you deal with friend stealers when you bring all your friends together? Find that one of those friends are trying to hang out with another one of your friends outside of you. Am I tripping or is that considered shady? That's actually a good question. I would say, honestly, it depends. I think it depends on how it works out or how it all started. So, like, because for instance, for me and my friends, I'm always the nucleus of everybody. Well, when I had a big group of friends, because now, like I said, most of my friends are like more creatives like me and stuff. So we're more like work friends, if that makes sense. So we're still growing in friendship. And I don't know how deep it's gonna get because most of them I haven't even met in person yet. You know, we know each other online. But you know, it could get deep. But needless to say, in my old friend circle, I typically am the nucleus. So I'm the one that everyone's friends with, but they're not necessarily all friends with each other. Now, the way my friends were, they didn't really hang out too much with each other outside of me. I think everybody, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I feel like most of my friends were introverts and I was an extrovert. So I feel like for them, they were kind of like, nah, I'm good keeping it like this. You know, like I don't want to hang with you. Like next time she invites us to an event, I'll see you there. We'll chop it up, but I'm really not trying to hang with you. That's typically how it went. One or two of them hung out outside of me, but we all were already going to school together. So I wasn't too surprised. It was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But I feel like if, let's say I brought a bunch of friends around each other and we're all kikiing, chopping it up. It's like, man, this is great, you know, and say maybe my very best friend who I see as like a sister, like a blood sister, starts getting pulled away by someone else who's like trying to almost take my spot. I know it sounds so bad. It sounds so territorial, but it's like she's trying to be me. In other words, like, you know, maybe if me and my best friend always went shopping together on Sundays at Target and then we got Starbucks and now she's the one like, hey, want to come with me to Target on Sunday and get Starbucks? And then my best friend is like, yeah, like let's do it. And next thing you know, they're doing that every Sunday and I'm not invited and I find out through Instagram or Snapchat. Like something like that to me would be like, that's kind of shady. You could have invited me. Or like, what's the big secret? Like, it almost seems like an affair. I don't know. It just something more along those lines would be like, okay, something's not right here. It's like almost, it's giving almost like obsessed, like I'm trying to be you. I want to take your spot. I'm gonna be her best friend. You know, I'm the new sheriff in town. Like it's giving that kind of vibe. But that's the only kind of example I could think of. Because like I said, my friends are generally more antisocial. So I have to be the one to be like, come on, let's hang out, let's do it. And they're like, I just want to stay home and read a book, you know, like that kind of thing. I don't know what it is about me, but I attract friends who are extremely needy of me. Wow. And are jealous of me or are sexually attracted. What? Plot twist. Yo, I found that in the research too when I was reading it. There was this article. I didn't finish reading it, but it was like a therapist talking about one of her, not one of her clients per se, but like a friend of one of her clients or something like that was like grieving a friendship ending because she was friends with this woman and the woman and her were real tight, but come to find out the woman wanted to be with her. So she was trying to get him from that friend angle. And when she found out, she was like, nah, I'm not interested. And the friendship ended. It was like a big thing. It was literally like a breakup. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like you gotta be, you never know. Like you never know. Like, you met this girl through me, you didn't like her at first, now you want to do stuff with her without me. This is why ooh, yeah, that's shady. That's shady. Because if I know you didn't like someone and now all of a sudden you hanging out, I actually have two people in my life right now that I could think of where one of them was always dragging the other one, like when we were friends. So me and friend A used to be friends, like real tight. And friend A used to always drag friend B. And so friend B and I still talk, but me and friend A don't talk anymore. So if I saw friend A become friends with friend B all of a sudden and they're best friends, I'm gonna be giving the side eye, like, wait a minute, like, you know, you didn't even like this person, like you dragged their name through the mud, like you said so many foul things. It's just like, why are you best friends now? Like that would be like a I want to get back at you type of thing. So since we're not friends, I'm gonna befriend your best friend so that way you can feel some type of way. Like, yeah, stuff like that. I can't do it. I literally cannot do it. But because friend A and friend B are more introverts, I don't even see that happening, to be honest. And friend A got like a whole different lifestyle now, and you know, she's wrapped up in what she got going on, from what I know, because we don't talk anymore, like I said. So, you know, from what I know, she's wrapped up in her lifestyle. The rankings spoil things. I hold everyone to be special. Yeah, ranking. Now, I will say rankings. I wouldn't say rankings. I would say categorizing is probably better than rankings. Like, I wouldn't rank someone like, okay, your friend VIP, you're 2, you're 3. Like, I wouldn't do that. But I do have friends in different boxes. I'll be honest about that. Like, I don't have all my friends the same. Like, I treat everybody with respect. Everybody feels special in my life and in my presence. But I don't have the same dynamic with them, if that makes sense. So I have like my YouTube friends. Those are like, well, my content creation friends, period. Like those are who I would classify as like my work friends. Now, some of them are slowly but surely transitioning into like sisterhood. Like we talk about more than just YouTube and Patreon and Instagram and analytics. Like, you know, we have actually had other conversations. We have each other's phone numbers. I've been to their homes. Like, you know, we're starting to get to that point where it's like, okay, this is more than just a work friend, but it's going to take a while because we're all over the world. You know, we all have different lifestyles and dynamics and demands on our lives. So it takes a while, I feel, to let that grow past just being work, but it is going pretty fast, I will say, considering the time I've been doing this. And then I have like my school friend, not even friends, but friend, the last one standing that I've known for 20 years. The rest, they would say they're my friend, but I feel like they're acquaintances because I don't just throw the word friend around lightly. Like when you're a friend of mine, you're family. Like you're in there, I would give my last to you. Like I give a lot of myself in my relationships, and this is why it's hard for me to deal with betrayal, or it's hard for me to deal with, I guess you could say, like a heartbreak or any sort of like, I don't know, just backstabbing or whatever, like where some people could be like, oh, this person started acting funny, but they called me, we hashed it out and we're friends again. For me, it's like, you know, because I'm spent. Like by the time we get to that point, I'm spent because I give of myself so much. Like I pour out so much of myself in my relationships. So the minute it's getting to be raggedy and ghetto, I'm gone. I'm sorry. Like you can apologize. I'll forgive you, but you're not going to sit at my table in the same way that you were. Like that's just how I move. So, you know, I can't. But I do have my school friend that I'm really close with, and she's like a sister to me. You know, I've got like, I had church friends, but since I moved to Georgia, I'm not a part of a church right now. So I have different categories, but yeah, I treat them all the same in the sense that everybody gets respect, everybody feels heard, loved, seen, you know, respected, all of that good stuff. Hey, Michelle. Hey, sis. Glad you made it in. It is very weird, extremely weird. Hey, Mary, women gotta know your entire life story before becoming friends. Yes, like I did I say that already? I think I did. Yeah, women are competitive about the emotional connection, so they want to be able to boast and be like, I know this, that about this person. Like she leans on me, we close, and this and that. And so because we place that much importance on knowing the intricate details of someone's life, it makes us be low-key competitive in relationships, and I mean in friendships. And let's not say that women are not competitive when it comes to material stuff too, because women are very much that. I mean, the research obviously is painted with a more broad brush, based on the research that Tannen did, the author of that book that I mentioned earlier. She was doing general sociological research. But if we're looking at our lives, like I know we all know, I know I can't be the only one that knows women that are competitive in every sense. Like if you got a man, her man got to be better than you. You know, if you started a business, she's starting a business and she's making more money than you. If you lost 10 pounds, she lost 20 pounds. If you are going on a trip to Tulum, she's going to Dubai, Paris, and London in the same month. Like she's going to outdo you any twist and turn. She's going to one up you. She's going to deflate what you got going on. You can call her and be very excited about maybe something that great that happened in your life, and she's going to downplay it and be like, I mean, this, that, the third. Like I'll give you a prime example. This same friend that I referenced a couple times in this conversation already. Y'all, it was janky. I should have been let it go a long time ago, but she had me in like a trance. It was weird. I'm like, because typically I'm pretty good with cutting folks off, but this friend, this was different. I was like, I don't know if she did some voodoo on me or what, but it was just like, why was I so stuck, you know? And one thing about me is I'm very big on loyalty. And I will say at one point in time, she was really there for me in like my valley moments. And that's the downfall. That's where people can get me, because if you're there for me in a vulnerable moment or a trying time, I'm gonna be like, well, you had my back when I didn't have it, da, 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 da. And I'll be loyal, but then people take advantage of that loyalty. So over the years, I've had to learn to like, you know, be like, okay, you were there for me, but you're not about to have me ripping and running and out here looking crazy because you're taking advantage of my friendship. You know, you got to draw the line somewhere. But needless to say, what was I even saying, y'all? I'm rambling. I forgot my main point. Someone remind me in the comments. I really was about to make a fire point and I don't forgot. One of my friends had disclosed to me that she finds me extremely private and doesn't know much about me, but I know a lot about her. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like I have this gift. I would call it a gift at this point, where I can make someone feel like they know so much about me, but in the grander scheme of things, they really don't. It's so funny because I actually tested this theory amongst my friends and amongst my followers on Instagram. Like in 2020, I did like a let's play a game or something like that. Like, you know, why does that sound like a horror movie? Like let's play a game. But no, like I think I hit a milestone in my followers. So I was like, yeah, like let's see how well you know me or whatever. And so I put 10 questions in my stories and they had to answer it. And a lot of them bombed it. Like they did not answer but maybe one, maybe two questions right out of the 10. And these are all things that I've said over time or I thought were pretty obvious, you know, based on the pictures, but they didn't know. And so a couple of them DM'd me after the game and they were just like, it's so crazy that this game happened this way, because now I'm realizing how much I don't know you. Like I really felt like you were my best friend in my head, but I really don't know you. You know? And I was like, that's so true. Like, it's like a perfect balance of transparency and privacy at the same time. It's so weird. Not me. I'm ready for it. You are, though. You are. Like, but you don't rub me as an introvert. You rub me as like an ambivert. Like, you have your introverted moments, your extroverted moments. It just depends, I guess, on the time and who you're around. I mean that. Yeah. But yeah, I get it. Sorry. I didn't mean to break it down if that's what you meant. But yes, we're on the same page. Just like we're multifaceted, so will be your friend groups. Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Do you think it's harder for women to maintain friendships because we become too involved in personal business? Yes. Actually, the research did mention that too. Tannen had mentioned that, where it was like it can cause too much because now you're like a little too invested in your friend's life because you know their business. I noticed men only go but so far in their friendships as far as personal. Yeah, like men don't get too deep with the personal, at least not the men that I know and you know. So I don't know. Like I think that definitely has some truth based on our experiences, what we're saying, and even the research, like I said, because you get invested. I mean, think of that friend that constantly goes back and forth. Oh, I know what I was gonna say about that friend, y'all, about the competitiveness. Let me say this point and then I'll get back to that. Sorry. Like I just drew a blank. I was like, this was about to be a fire example, and my brain is like you know? But you know, it definitely is one of those things where it can be bad. Like if you got that friend that's always going back to that raggedy ex, and every time they have an argument or something, like she's telling you and she's coming to you crying, asking for advice and this and that, you're giving her advice, you're counseling her, you're hearing her out, and then he comes back 2 days, 3 days later, they make up and she's like, we're back together, we're in love again, and then 2 weeks later it's like, you know, stuff like that. It's like because we're so invested a lot of the time, you feel like it's you, like you're going through the emotional trauma, you're going through the turmoil, you're going through the roller coaster right with her. And so it can be hard in that sense because you're like, I gotta pull back, like this is an emotional strain. And then other times you know, it could be hard because sometimes friends give their unsolicited advice. Sometimes they start to get judgmental. One of the authors of another research site that I had found, like it's like a blog / research site called Next Tribe, she said that life situations and changes in your life can make friendships become estranged because your friends can start to feel left out. They can start to feel like they don't relate. So she gave the example of when her and her husband decided to adopt a child in their 40s. I guess they didn't have any children before that from the sound of it. And they finally were like, let's adopt. And so one of her good friends, Kathy at the time, just started becoming very judgmental. You know, she was judging her parenting, judging her marriage dynamic after the adoption, judging, you know, how she chose to dress, like everything. Like she was just nitpicking on everything. And then lo and behold, Kathy was actually starting to feel left out because she didn't, I don't know if Kathy had kids or not. Maybe her kids were grown, maybe she didn't have kids, but she was starting to feel left out. And so that's why she was acting so like aggy with Janice. And she told, I think Janice approached Kathy and was like, hey, like, what's going on? You really have not been the same Kathy that I know. And so Kathy was like, you're right. I have been acting like a jerk. And this is why. And so it got better for a little bit. And then over time, it just kept getting worse and worse. And it got to the point where Janice was like, she had to cut her off. Like she literally sent her an email and was like, I can't be your friend anymore. Like it's taking a toll on me mentally. So, you know, I gotta go. And so they're not friends as of the article, which I think the article was written 2020 or 2021 or something like that. As of the article, they weren't friends. And her daughter, I think it was a daughter she adopted, but either way, her child was 15 at that point. So for 15 years, they lost a friendship that they had for decades over a life change. But then what I like that Janice admitted is Janice was like, I can admit that while Kathy lacked empathy for my new season in life and being a new mom in my 40s and stuff, I also lacked empathy as far as understanding how she might feel left out in this new lifestyle change, because she was like, I just was so consumed with like hanging with other moms and doing everything with other moms because they've got kids. And I completely ignored my friends whose lives did not exactly mirror mine. And I was like, that takes a lot of guts to admit, because recently, I know y'all know the drama that happened with what's her name? Kiara Clark Sheard, when she was talking about when her friends come to town, she has them stay in a hotel. So, you know, there's no temptation with her husband and stuff like that. And so the whole internet was in an uproar. Some people were like, I agree, do what you got to do to make your marriage work. Other people were like, it's not that deep. And then some people were just indifferent about the whole thing altogether. But the thing that stuck out is that a lot of people that are singles were saying that they have had their friendships fall apart once their friends got married, because it was like, you know, their friends just, the dynamics change. You know, your friend is married now, it's all about their spouse and their kids or whatever. And while it's like they get it, it's like, dang, like, do you have to completely kick me to the curb? Like, is there still any space for me in your life? Can you at least try to nurture the friendship and not just treat me like I'm disposable type of thing? And sometimes it's not even marriage. Sometimes it's just the minute your friend gets into a relationship. Like I said, I have friends, or had, because, you know, who are like that, where it was like, as soon, you know, when they're in a relationship and when they're not. Because when they're in a relationship, they don't know a number to call. They don't know a text to send. You know, you texting, you calling, they ain't available, this or the third. The minute that they calling you and they're texting, you know that there's trouble in paradise. Like, oh, okay, so-and-so's calling me. Her man must have pissed her off. Oh, they probably having problems. Oh, she probably just broke up with him or whatever. Because all of a sudden she got time to talk to me. And so I like that Janice admitted that, because it really is a different dynamic. And then the competitiveness, before I get to the comments, is like that same friend that I've been referencing, like I said, she was very competitive. She probably wouldn't admit it if I were to ask her today, but she was definitely very competitive. Like, I remember I missed out on some good opportunities, even good relationships, that I feel would have been edifying and healthy with men that really cared about me, because of stuff that she would say, you know. And it was like the shady insult. It wasn't the overt like, oh, he's a bum, da da da, you know. But it was like the, oh, well, do you really want to be with a man that's only making such and such amount? Oh, do you really want to be with a man who is still in school and still working on his degree? Do you really want to be with a man who is the, you know, like little like passing comments like that, or, oh, he's going to be struggling, or he's going to be this or that, like just speaking death, you know, like not speaking life at all, not even giving the room to say, you know what, like this might actually be a good match for you. You seem happy, like, you know, you're a grown woman, you're smart, I trust your judgment. Just instant like judgment and like negativity and stuff. And everything was almost always like a competition, like a silent competition, where it was like, oh, we got this, we got that. My man's doing this, my man's doing that. And it's just like, man, like you realize when you're out of it how competitive women can really be. So even though the research didn't touch on that, I know from personal experience women can be very competitive, just like men, when it comes to the material and the physical stuff, as well as holding that prize position of being like the closest to that friend. No, it's okay. It's all good, Sabrina. I can't rock with that. Betrayal will not be tolerated. Exactly. I'm like, it's all or nothing for me. The minute you show me that you're not loyal, I'm gone. Before you can even open your eyes from blinking, I'm gone. I think everyone brings something unique to your life. Not everyone is an all-around friend. Some friends are emotionally better to share things. Yeah, some are fun to go out with. Some are down for whatever. Exactly. Like it definitely is different categories. Once anyone crosses me, I'm over it and can't move forward with you. Still, right? Like, listen, you and I are here because I can't. Like, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect. But I will say, like, I'm a pretty darn good friend. Like, I got to toot my own horn. I'm sorry. Like, when it comes to being a friend, a girlfriend, any sort of relationship, I am pretty darn good. Like, and I know the standard is really high. I sound so arrogant, but I know the standard is really high. But it's like, I'm not asking you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And I know, like, that's probably not wise to have the same expectations of myself put onto other people. But like, I'm sorry, like, because when you're with me, when you walk in with my team, you're getting a counselor / therapist of financial management, meaning like, I'm helping you with your goals, or if you need something, I got it, you're good. I have a big heart. I'm very empathetic. I'm very compassionate. I'm very understanding. Like I said, I'm really good at seeing things from people's shoes, whereas other people might be like, nah, like, and I don't really take a lot of things personally. Whereas other people might be like, oh, nah, like, the slightest thing they're having a fit and stuff. I really don't. It takes a lot to ruffle my feathers. It takes a lot for me to get offended. But like I said, when it comes to loyalty, trust, honesty, respect, like those things, point blank period. The minute I see that it's gone, I gotta go. Because there's just certain things I would never do. Like my whole world could be falling apart. Like that friend of 14 years that I cut off. It was the disrespect for me, especially when it was unwarranted, and especially when it was in response to something that was already offered. Like you already said, this is okay, and I take you up on that offer, and now you got a problem, and you're getting disrespectful and out of pocket. And it's like when the tables were turned, and you needed someone to lean on, and you needed someone to be there for you, and you needed someone to really just be like, listen, if I wanted to air dirty laundry tonight, the tea kettle is full, like I told y'all. But I'm not about to put folks on Front Street like that. But if we really want to pull up receipts and like the type of friend that I was and am to a lot of people and how they turn around and did me, it's like, listen, friends like me don't come around every day, point blank period. So when you start showing your rear end, I gotta go, because this is too much goodness to just be given to someone that is ungrateful and can honestly just turn their back on me in the blink of an eye. Amen, sis. Men don't get right, okay? They really don't. They really don't. So conflicting if they were once there for you, right? But once I see it, I gotta go, because it's like, nah, y'all doing too much now. Like, I can't trust you if you can be disloyal like that and stuff. I have a friend, neighbor like that. Whenever I had good news, she would be salty or have something negative to say. I just don't talk whenever I run into her. She makes everything about herself. Oh my gosh, yes, the same friend too. It was just like everything is flipped back to you. What you got going on, or you got to like one up. I hate that. Like then it becomes competitive. Like, oh well, you did this, I did that. Oh well, wait till you hear this. Oh well, what about like? It's too much. Like you be so tired when you get off the phone, or when you leave that conversation, you be exhausted mentally because you spent all that time just like competing and jumping through hoops. It's too much. Oh my gosh, I'm like you. I can make someone feel like they know so much about me, but they don't know thing about me. That friend was not the first person to say I'm extremely private. Right. People really be leaving the table in the conversation like, girl, like that is my friend. And I'm giving them the soldier boy, like, friend. Like your friend, we had 2 conversations, sis. Calm down. Like I be feeling like a dude turning down a woman with friendship sometimes, because people be so eager to call me a friend, and I'm just like, whoa, like let's slow down. Let's take our time. Like we're rushing into it. Oh my gosh, I'm weak, y'all. That's hilarious. Don't do it. When they do that it's a setup, hence why I don't act personal. Business is a setup, so when you do, they get smart, they can get smart, exactly, you know, they really do. So let me see. But I was private too and shared some things. However, I got emotionally exploited to share more. What? That's crazy. I'm sorry you went through that. Yeah, people would definitely like be all up and down in your business. It's crazy. My friend neighbor is that raggedy friend who's on and off with her man. Oh my gosh, I don't give her advice, but when I do, I always ask her if she wants me to be honest or to agree with her. It became exhausting, right? You know, it's like you're coming to me all the time, like all the time, and I gotta sit here and my emotions are flaring up. I'm feeling some type of way. I want you to want more for yourself, and you're just okay, like continuously being on this emotional roller coaster. Like it's just too much. Like one more for yourself, sis. Seriously. Oh, you hardly shared anything. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you didn't share too much more. One of my friends now husband, One of my friends now husband tried to make a move on me. What? In their bathroom, I pushed him away from me, and he said, "I thought you liked me. You're always commenting on my pics, bruh." You're really willing to risk it all over some picture likes. Like that's another thing. People be taking social media to a whole extreme, and I'm one of those people like I know people say what's understood doesn't have to be explained, for instance, but for me it's like I need to hear verbatim. So if I don't hear verbatim, I'm not going to assume anything. Like I'm not going to say, oh, this person liked a ton of my pictures, they must have a crush on me. No, if I don't hear it straight from the horse's mouth, then it's whatever to me, you know. I tell guys that all the time. I'm like, if you want to be with me, then you better tell me, because I'm going to be acting like I'm single until that conversation is had. That's just how I'm gonna act. Like I'm not. That's crazy. It's not that you're private. It's just in the age of social media, people think they have a right to your personal life. Exactly. They really do. They really do feel like it. And it's crazy. Hey, Butterfly Dreams. I was in a three-person relationship with a guy and his girlfriend, and the girls started acting funny towards me, but I thought we were all supposed to be friends. This hurt till this day. I still don't know what happened between us. So much for friendship. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, like that's definitely weird. So you said the girl started acting funny towards me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe her man started crushing on you or something like that. I don't know. Don't get me to instigating, but it sounds like there might have been something else going on there, or maybe some jealousy. I don't know, like that, because that's really weird. Like I feel like a lot of times when people start acting funny like that, it's some underlying emotional baggage and trauma going on. So that's very interesting. But then also, what I found is that not only are women emotionally competitive, but like I said, the life situations and circumstances changing definitely cause a rift or a change in how things go. But you have to have a sense of empathy. And I'm sorry if you hear screaming. That's my son. He's doing the most. Matter of fact, let me text my sister, because he is doing the most. Hold on, y'all. Let me go check on the child, because he is something is not right. Y'all see him lurking in the background. But I would always say whenever I come visit y'all, you have to cook for me. How did that translate into I like you? Ooh, child. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Like he was reaching for that one. Oh, hold on, wait, I missed this one. I'm saying she hardly shared anything, but I was careful not sharing everything. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, you gotta. I kind of watched that, so I kind of like, um, I kind of test things out where it's like, let me see if I share this bit of information, if they'll share, or some people, honestly, a lot of people with me just come out the gate and start sharing like randomly, you know? And so from there, I'll just kind of be like, okay, like they're divulging everything. So I take it from there and determine how much I want to share. But yeah, like I kind of sometimes you got to test the waters where it's like, okay, let me see if I dip a toe over here, are they gonna share too or nah? I crave a healthy, balanced friend group. Yes, like that is so important. I need a healthy friend group. I don't honestly, like I said earlier in the live, a lot of my friends have fallen by the wayside. Because once I see that disrespect and stuff, I got to go. There's nothing else to discuss here. You know, like I said what I said, I'm out of here. So, needless to say, now I have a lot of new friendships, and new friendships take time to get to. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they take a while to get to a level of depth where it's like, okay, like we're sharing real vulnerable stuff. But I will say that for the new friends that I do have, out of all of them, maybe like two or three of them, we shared some real deep stuff with each other. But it was just a natural connection. Like out the gate, we just got along, and it just was very vulnerable. But for the most part, it's kind of like there's levels to it, you know. What? That same raggedy neighbor, her son. What? He hit her. There was fighting. She want to cry over him every day. Oh nah. Stop poking your head in. Look, my son is making an appearance. Say hi.
Hi.
His nosy behind. But that's child, the ghetto. Yeah, I would keep my distance too. I see why you said you don't say anything when you see her. That is too much. She needs to let that go. That's definitely some deep rooted trauma. And I know when I was reading some of these articles, they said that a lot of times women place a lot of emphasis on their friendships because of deep rooted trauma. So it's like maybe they always felt abandoned by family and stuff. So they really lean on their friendships to fill that void. And in times like that, it's too much. Like a friend can't deal with that. You know, my friend can't deal with that. I crave a healthy, balanced friend group. It's so rare. It is like I would say now is probably the healthiest friend group I have. And I think it helps that we're all creators or entrepreneurs of some sort. And honestly, as bad as this is going to sound, that we all live in different states. I know that sounds terrible, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like distance kind of helps sometimes, you know, when you're not like up under each other all the time. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and how me and my friends are. But it definitely helps, you know. I wish you could sustain healthy friendships with men without having to worry about either them liking you or when you get into a relationship next year. Yes, like you, I don't think you were in here earlier when I said that, where I was like, a lot of these male friends that people have, that women have, it's like, and I know for me, it always started with them wanting to be with me. So it's like because they wanted to be with me and maybe it didn't work out and they're like, oh, let's just be friends and this and that. Then it's like you're never really just my friend because you really want to be my man, but you got friend zone. So you're trying to play your role and maybe hoping one day that I'll change my mind. But little do they know, once you're friend zone with me, you ain't never getting out. That's a life sentence. That's a life sentence. You're stuck there for life. I'm sorry. Like I just don't see it with you. There's actually someone right now that I'm about to friend zone. So sorry to that man, you know. Sorry to the no, we're not singing happy birthday. I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon. Y'all, my nail done broke off. I gotta get my nails done.
Happy birthday.
Nope. It's no one's birthday. He just nosy. I gotta wash his hair tonight. But Sabrina, I know that they are into threesomes, and I don't know, maybe it was a setup. Ooh, yeah. Oh, snap. You got the juicy friendships, girl. They trying to get you to join the team. That's what they trying to do. See, they said hi. Layla said hi to you. Say hi, Layla.
Hi.
Oh no, it's all good, China. It's all, and welcome to my live. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Yes, that's true. But when you start friendship from high school, you learn things out of nowhere down the line, and eventually it connects all the. Okay. So yeah, that definitely makes sense for sure. The longer the friendship, the more you find out. Friends is like so. It really is. You're not getting out of there, sir. So stop. Like when they be trying to break out, I'll be like, get back down. Just push them back down. Like that carnival game where you gotta hit the little puppet thing on the head with the hammer, like that be them. They be trying to pop up out the friend zone. I'm like, pop, nope, get back down. Get back down. I had one play the friend role for 2-3 years, try to sabotage my relationship and all that. And then when the relationship ended with my ex, and I actually was like, okay, let me try to give him a shot, try something different out of the box. Then he was like, oh, I want to focus on me. Sir, you spent the last 2-3 years pursuing me, trying to break me up with my man. Now it's your turn, your time, and you're like, I want to focus on me? Like, what? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Shh, you can't be too loud. You want to talk about your friends?
Yeah.
Tell us about friends.
I like friends.
You like friends?
I like broccoli.
Okay, now he's talking about food he likes. But nevertheless, y'all, the last thing I wanted to say before we wrap it up is that one of the articles I found, so this was the side post. Let me see, let me make sure. Yeah, it was a side post article I found where it said that even though women deal with a lot of like these nuances, like lifestyle changes and circumstances changing and all that in female relationships and friendships, we still place a lot of value in friendships. And so that's why when it doesn't work out, it hurts even more. Or like when you hit those rough patches, it hurts even more because we place a lot of value on it. Even when we're in relationships, which that really shocked me because, like I said earlier, a lot of times, even based on the research, when women get in relationships, it's like their friendships take a back seat. And so to see that the women that they researched and surveyed were like, no, like when I'm in a relationship, I still value my friendship. So what I gather from that is that the women in the relationships want you that's maybe not in a relationship, or maybe you're in a more seasoned relationship, to put in more effort. So it's almost like I'm paying more attention to my man right now, but I want you to pick up the torch, and I want you to like, maybe reach out more or whatever. And if that's the case, I feel like you got to communicate that, because the way I move, I reciprocate energy. So if you start distancing yourself, honey, I can distance myself. If you want a limbo, how low can you go? Like, that's how I am. I know I'm petty, y'all. I know I'm petty. The Lord's still working on me, but I just feel like I'm not the one that kind of stuff with, because I'm gonna be like, you take a day to text me back, I'm gonna take 2 days to text you back. Like, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Like, maybe I'm traumatized, okay? Maybe I'm triggered in those those moments. So it's my fight or flight response to be like, oh, you want to take a long time? Okay, bet. Like, so I'm not the person to do that with. With me, you got to be blunt. You got to be upfront. Here, take this. Go brush your hair. But with me, you got to be blunt. You got to be upfront. Like, hey, like, my bad. I've been real busy, or, like, I don't know, find a way to say it. Maybe not flat out like, hey, can you text me more and stuff? But, just be like, oh man, I've been so busy. I've been meaning to reach out to you. Like, wording, all that makes a difference. Because then maybe if I hear something like that, I'll be like, okay, let me step it up. Let me reach out a little more, whatever. But yeah, so that's what I gathered from that. Because I'm like, okay, if they're in relationships and they're saying, well, we still value and need our friendships, but we're acting distant, then the only thing I can reason is that you want your friends to step it up. And it's like, how does that really work though? Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Because to me, it's like you got to say it, unless you just have an unspoken understanding where you could pick it up and it's like, okay, she's getting busier. Let me reach out to her more. I don't know. That could get sticky because people can really start to feel some type of way. They can really start to feel some way. It was right. They had 3 sons. What? Oh, child, girl, your friend group is trying to turn you out. With the very few friends I have, I'm the only one with no kids, and no shade to the moms, but I don't want to hang out with your child and you all the time. No, I get it. Like, and honestly, like, I'm a single mom and it's an absentee situation. So he doesn't know his dad, but I'm also blessed to have family. Like, I live with family. We live in a very communal way. So it helps me to not always have to bring him around. Because honestly, I don't want to hang around with him all the time. And I know that sounds cold. Like, the moms out there, please, no shade, no tea. I know moms who want to do everything with their child, and more power to you. But y'all see this energy right now. Y'all look, like, I don't want to be around this all day. I love my baby. I love him to death, love him to life. And I have my mommy Sundays with him, and I'm very intentional about those days. But mommy needs her time. Okay, I need to be around adults. I need to talk about things that his little ears don't need to be hearing. I need to have a glass of wine and not be worried about him trying to tickle me and trying to steal my phone like he is right now. But I need that time, right? You need your time, right? And I need my time, right? See, we have an understanding. So he got my hair all frazzled. He doesn't hijack the live. Like, so I'm not one of those people that wants to be around my child all the time. So I get it. Trust me. I absolutely get it. And some I actually don't get along with a lot of moms for that reason, because they always want to have like mommy play date outings and stuff and go to the park and everything's like, yeah, let's take the kids to the park. Let's do this and do that. And I'm just like, I'm here for it. I love it. I love to see it. But this mom's not trying to do that. Every time I see you, I'm really not. Yes, that to me is just tit for tat, just communicate with seasoning. Right, just say it. Like, I'm just gonna be a little busier and things like that, But like I said, to me, I'm a very upfront friend. I'm very blunt with tact and respect. I always say that. But so you're not gonna have to do much guessing games and mind reading games of me. Like you pretty much know where I stand. And for the most part, I'm pretty adaptable and flexible. But that research bit really caught me off guard. I'm like, okay, if they're saying they still value their friendships, but they're saying that life circumstances make them not be able to pour into their friendships as more. So it's like you kind of are putting the onus on that other friend to keep the relationship going, which for some people they might not mind it, but other people that might be like, holla at me when you when you get some time. Like, it's just one of those things, and you got to kind of know who you're dealing with. But it did say too, another thing that they said, which I can definitely see how this has affected my life, is that women tend to have smaller friend groups than men. So men tend to have just like one big stop. Men tend to have one big friend group that they just talk to everybody. And men tend to have one big friend group where they just talk to everybody and everybody's kind of just, whatever. And that's it. Whereas women tend to have smaller friend groups. Like they'll have their man, they'll have their smaller, intimate friend groups, and women, based on this research, actually valued one-on-one friendships a lot more. So you can take it if you want to. Go take pictures. Okay. They valued one-on-one friendships a lot more than, not saying men don't value one-on-one friendships, but the research was like, like they would rather have that small, intimate friend group. So that, with that being said, when something changes, like one of you gets married, one of you gets a baby, maybe one of you is just going through a lot, because women, generally speaking, are in those smaller friend groups, the little splashes and the life events create big waves amongst the group, because it's like you feel it more. If you have a friend group with like 4 or 5 people and 1 or 2 of them are going through like serious life changes, life circumstances, you're going to feel that dynamic change. And don't let there be some drama. Don't let, 2 people in the group or 3 people be beefing, because now it's all the way different. Like now the whole dynamic has changed. Whereas with men, it's like they tend to kind of keep it more like at an arm's length, like Sabrina was saying earlier. And so someone could be going through something or whatever. Give it to me and stop. Someone could be going through something or whatever, but they don't feel the pain as much, or they don't feel the problems, I guess, as much. It doesn't make as much of an effect on the group. Recently, I've been on a self journey, rediscovering myself, and I'm not into a lot of the things I used to be into, and some things I want to get into. I'm really into fitness and health. Yes, me too. Like I actually had a health scare in January that made me get into fitness and health, but now I love it. So I feel you on that one. Over the last 3 years, basically since 2019, my life has taken a major change. Has taken a major change. I've been into like different things now. Go take pictures over there. Go take pictures over there. I've been into different things. My business has changed. My career has changed. My interests, all of that. So naturally, a lot of and then I relocated. That's another huge change, because I'm originally from the DC area, and now I'm in Atlanta. So that move alone cut off a lot of friends, because some people literally need you to be near them to keep a relationship going of any sort, whether it's a friendship, romantic, whatever. And so that really cut it off. And then when I came here, it's like I changed the type of business I was doing and the type of goals I was setting for, like, self-employment and stuff. So all of that changed. And then, getting into the health and all that. So yeah, it's definitely different. And I've been on a huge self-love journey. Honestly, if I'm being completely real, I feel like these past 3 years have been some sort of an isolation season for me. Like I have connects, I have associates, I have a network of some sort. It's not as large as it used to be when I was younger, but it's there. But it's still like, I feel like I'm isolated a lot of the time, if that makes sense. Like I'm kind of protected or tucked away, so I don't know. I just take it as God needs me to be alone right now so I can focus on other stuff, because friends be coming with the drama sometimes. Not even sometimes, a lot of the time too. They be coming with the drama. And it's like the more people that you have around, the more you got to tend to their needs and stuff as well. So it could just be a lot. It could be a lot. I need friends who want to match yes, come on. I'm here to match your energy, sis. Like, even just from this chat, I'm like, yo, she's cool. Like, this is cool people. Matching energy is so important. And that's another reason why a lot of my friendships have ended, because we're just like, it's like we just hit a fork in the road where we're just 2 different people. And it hit me like I went back home last year to DC. I did like a solo road trip, and I was hanging out with several people that I knew from back in the day. And there were many times during that trip where I was sitting down with these people and I just had an epiphany moment. Like, we are just not friends anymore. Like, it just hit me like it's different people. Like, I'm not even enjoying myself in your company like that. It feels very forced and very awkward. Like, yeah, I think this is it. Like, I think we're at the end of the road. So stop showing my phone. Jesus, he's about to expose me. Thank goodness I don't have anything shady or risque in my phone because he holding up to the camera with and laughing. Y'all, I can't. But yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Because like I said at the beginning of the live, before a lot of y'all got in here, we always are hollering about sisterhood and women supporting women and all that, and it's all cookie cutter and rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, gallivanting through the fields. But it's like it's not always that. Like, let's be real, that friendships are not all peaches and cream, that they really do go left a lot of the time, and women be out here struggling to keep, the main. I honestly feel like, if I'm being completely real, and this is going to probably step on some toes, but it is what it is. I feel like the main women, in my experience, who be hollering about sisterhood and women supporting women and sisterhood over competition, especially in the content creator niche, y'all. Like, people love a good hashtag. People love a good talking point. They gonna sit here and say everything like that you want to hear. All I can do is laugh about it at this point. But they, hey, do not be exposing me. What is that? Look, he's trying to order Postmates. I can't. Why does my 5-year-old know how to get to Postmates and then log into my thing? Thank goodness they're not even active anymore like that. But keep talking so you can order food. But I'm just like, y'all be hollering about sisterhood and be the main ones not enforcing it, not fostering it. Like, we be the shadiest ones out the bunch. So it's just like, I can't, like, miss me with it. My phone be dry. I be so jealous of people who get constant communication with friends, especially my cousin who I live with. She's always on the phone calculating. I'm sorry, China. Like, my phone be dry too. It ebbs and flows. So when it comes to friendships, my phone is really dry. If I'm actively dating, my phone isn't necessarily dry, but it might as well be because the conversation is dry, like very dry. So I feel you on that. My mom would get more phone calls than me, to be honest. Like, I probably talk on the phone with the same 2 or 3 people. I did have someone I was talking on the phone with more often, but she got really busy. And that I understand, because she's really like going through a lot right now. She's about to have a major lifestyle change. So I get it. And I'm like giving her space respectively. And I used to talk on the phone with this guy a lot that I was really feeling, but that went up in flames. But we're gonna talk on dating and all that in other live streams, other videos, because that's a whole other conversation. Like, I was talking with one of my friends. I don't know if she's on here, maybe she'll catch the replay, but I was like, I don't know why men be coming in like pulling all the rabbits out of the hat, guns blazing, and all the tricks, just doing the most. And then all of a sudden, 2-3 weeks later, you're fortunate if you make it a month in. They just different. Like, no more grand rising queen text messages. No more good morning, beautifuls. How did you sleep last night? Now you're getting the what's up. Now you a whole, the N word and some more stuff. I don't want to say it because, YouTube with monetization, but you a whole nother thing. It's like, dang, like, what happened to the queen and the babe and the, all of that? Like, where did that go? Because now you treat me like one of the boys, I hope for true sisterhood, but takes all parties to be authentic in it. Exactly. And that's one thing I would say. Friendship, at the end of the day, no matter what it looks like, no matter when it's formed, it takes work. And that's one of the reasons why it's harder to form it when you get older, because it's like, we're not in the same math class and eating lunch in the same period all the time anymore. Like, high school and elementary school, middle school and stuff, you're seeing that person every day, 8-9 hours a day, so, and you become friends off of frivolous stuff in those years. Like, oh, her locker was next to mine and we like to wear the same shoes, so we became friends. But as you get older, it's like you need friends in a way deeper way. Okay, you showing them Connect 4? Okay, good. Keep playing the game. You need friends in a way deeper way, like, I need friends. I know for me, I need friends I can really lean on. At least a few. I don't need everybody to be who I lean on, but I definitely need some deep friendships. And I can't just have people around me that just want to take and just keep it surface level all the time. So it could be hard to make those friendships. Okay, they see it, buddy. And I wish other females wouldn't spill the same pain and do it to me from what another female did to them. Right? I deserve a true testimony of sisterhood. Yeah, that trauma is real. If you're not trauma bonding, you're projecting onto other women. or other people in general, because you just feel like you're going to do what the other ones did to me type of thing. I became chronically ill a few years ago, and being chronically ill, a lot of people are very insensitive. I'm so sorry to hear that. This Pandora box we've been in has encouraged me to worry about myself and put me. I know that's right. That's the best thing that you could do, honestly. Like, if you can't be there for me, in those type of moments, nope. And it really hurts when you find that out. Like, I didn't personally go through that, but my dad did, and I had to like move back home and help family out. That's why I'm living with family now. And when I tell you, people literally switched up on me like overnight, like people that I was really rocking with, I was like, wow, like it really freaked me out, because I'm like, these are people that used to sleep in my home, people that I used to do stuff for at the drop of a hat. They knew a lot of my personal information. So it's like, wow, like you could turn on me like that. Like that's really heartbreaking. So needless to say, y'all, that's really what I want to talk about. So I hope this conversation was refreshing and you were able to get some stuff off your chest, because I know I wanted to talk about it. I just really can't stand the cookie cutter, politically correct conversations all the time. Like, it sounds cute and all because it's International Women's Day, which happy International Women's Day to everybody on the live stream and the replay. So, all that sounds great and all that jazz, but it's like, nah, let's get down to now me coming in like the Grinch. I'm like, let's get down to the heart of the matter. Let's talk about, other stuff. So, but that's it for tonight. Y'all made this conversation really lively. I love it when y'all are active in the chat and talk it up with me. And thank you for everyone that came over from the other Rondelle's channel. Y'all check her out, Rondelle's Unpopular Opinion. Her name is, actually, I'm going to put it in the comment box, because she is definitely like a real gem. Like, we just happen to cross paths on YouTube, but I mean, once you see someone with your same name, like, you gotta show love, especially as a woman creator, because a lot of women don't have that name. So check her out, Rondelle's Unpopular Opinion. She covers a lot of news, political news. Check out her Patreon as well. And again, if you would like to support my Patreon, I will put the link up here. I'm gonna do my first video on the Batman movie review, but I want to talk about it from the political parallels. How Gotham City was just not feeling the politicians, because it was real. Like, that movie was real, y'all. I'm not even a huge like Batman fan. Like, I'm not a hardcore Batman fan. That's my Patreon if you want to check it out, or you could do general support on YouTube. But when I went, I was like, yo, there are so many parallels to like real life right now, because I mean, all the stuff we're going through right now, politically speaking. Ooh, child. This was a really great live. I'm very glad I tuned in. You are really sweet, and I hope all the success reasons. Thank you so much, Layla. And thank you, China, for the donation. You're so sweet and nice to meet you, too. Can we get these girl talks again? I love it. I love Rondelle supporters. Love it. Don't spoil it. Oh, my God. Okay, so you can't join the Patreon yet, because that's going to go up, Lord willing, by next Monday, because I saw it on Friday. And I've been meaning to do it this weekend, but I was literally ripping and running. I was at one of my best friend's baby showers. I was out and about ripping and running these streets, y'all. And I'm not as young as I used to be. Like, I was feeling it. But so you can't join that yet, because I have to talk about that movie. I have to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a documentary style yet, or if I'm just going to put it. No, I'm not even going to put in clips, because one, that's going to be hard to get, especially right now. And two, I don't want anybody to possibly be like, oh, she using clip. Like, you just don't know, even though Patreon generally is more freewheeling, but you just got to be careful. So I'm going to try not to spoil it, but once you see the movie, then you can check out the Patreon. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. But yeah, the girl talks, like, so typically on Tuesdays I would upload, but I'm actually trying going out live more, because he's about to start homeschooling and joining his co-op and stuff. So I'm going to have to be ripping and running between that, his speech therapy, and other stuff that I have going on. So I'm trying it, because going live is just so much easier, but I will be doing more uploads and stuff too. He's banging the table because he lost the game. Sorry. My child is a mess. Like, can you see him in a couple years playing spades? It's just going to be like, he's going to be a hot mess. Thank you so much. I got much more revelations. Some come to teach you lessons. Sadly, on the bot, so true. Sister. So sorry on the not so true on sisterhood. Yeah. I'm glad you came too, sis. Because honestly, like, I think I would love to have true sisterhood. One thing I do love about the internet is that I'm meeting a lot of you guys that I would not have met in person, because we're all over the place. We're in different states, countries, and stuff. So I'm grateful for the internet for that. It's not all bad. Sometimes the internet is quite ghetto, but it could be good as far as making connections. And I love these. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. Thursday, y'all want to come back, because I'm doing interviews. I'm definitely going to start doing more interviews on my channel. So if you have a brand or anything, feel free to hit me up on Instagram because I do want to start branching out. Hey, Shay, sis, you're coming in for the closing remarks, but it's all good. You can watch the playback. Oh, you're in Canada? What? I used to go to Canada all the time. My granddad used to live in Toronto. We used to go every year to visit him. And when he passed away, we stopped going every year. But I love, like, Ontario particularly is like my second home. I love Toronto. Absolutely love it. So gotta show love to my Canadian folks and my folks over in the UK. I don't know if any of y'all are on live right now, but I do have one of my friends. I'm interviewing her next Thursday. She's in the UK, and I get a lot of love from Canada and the UK. So I love y'all. Y'all are real. Y'all are real for real. I'm super like, I know. I'm like, not with you coming in with the closing remarks. But it's been a very interesting conversation. So feel free to leave your comments after you watch the replay, because I had to talk about this because I don't want to be the party pooper. I know, like, it's International Women's Day. I probably should talk about something super uplifting, like you're all queens, which we are, period. But some people might see the title and be like, really though? But I mean, at the end of the day, like, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Oh, you're in Toronto? Shucks, what? Okay, we definitely got to link up when I'm up there. Like, I wanted to go this year, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna say never. I might, but I don't think I will. But Lord willing, next year I'm gonna be there. And my family's Caribbean too, so that's another reason, because we always would go to Caravana, and I played Mass in 2015. It was a lot of fun going. But yeah, y'all. So come back Thursday, because I'm gonna be interviewing Edie Marie of Eats with Edie. That's my brother's girlfriend, but she's gonna be talking about the realities of going viral, because everybody wants to go viral, everyone wants to get a large following overnight and all that, but she's gonna be giving us a real, raw, honest truth of, like, going viral, what it looks like, and all of that good stuff. So come back Thursday. So Thursday nights, my lives are always at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, because I typically have a lot going on during the day, and it gives people time to, like, get settled. So come back 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be hot. And every week, every Thursday after this Thursday this month, I'll be doing interviews with different people talking about different topics. So tune in. And then the last Sunday of this month, I'm starting my Sunday Kickback. So Sunday Kickback is where we just going to talk about everything: hot topics, current events. I might do some story times. We might do a game night. So this first one's going to be a game night for Women's History Month. And I'm going to let y'all know right now, the trivia on when we play trivia games on this channel, it's cutthroat. So come with your boxing gloves. People be snapping receipts like, I won, I got it first. It'd be feisty, but it'd be hilarious. It's a good time. So hopefully y'all could join in. You want to go to Canada? You should. We should do a group trip to Canada. I do want to do a meetup at some point. I might have to wait till next year, because some places are just literally not opening up. And I just don't have the bandwidth to plan one this year. But maybe next year I could do like a Daily Dell meetup or something like that somewhere. And we could just make it like a girls' trip, like a weekend, have fun, go somewhere. Maybe I might get some people to speak or something, have goodie bags. I don't know. Like, I'm going to figure it out. It's going to be lit, though. I know when I do, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have a lot of people that can come and help and get a chance to show their brands off, too. Can you stop banging the table? But anyways, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and eat my dinner, and I'm going to attempt to finish my taxes tonight, because I have been slacking. Like, the slacking is real. Usually I'm done by end of February, and the struggle has been real this year. So I'm going to see if I can finish. If not, I'm going to just finish watching Love is Blind, because I'm behind. I'm so behind on the season, but I'm watching it to catch up. So I can't wait either. I can't wait, Shay. So y'all, thanks for joining the conversation. Like I said, feel free to leave a comment, share this out with a friend. And we're going to be back here Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see y'all. Stay safe, stay warm, cool, wherever you're at. And have a good night. Bye.
Bye.